Skirts. For some reason, they have been the bane of my wardrobe. Can you relate? I can recall specific instances in my life when I noticed a woman wearing a skirt and I thought, she looks so pulled together. I love that look. I would go home, try to duplicate what she was wearing from my closet, but something just didn't work. I would look in the mirror and what I was seeing just did not add up. Skirts can be tricky, would you agree? But today I'm sharing the secret to looking great in skirts this summer because they're a super option for summertime, and I want you to be ready to wear skirts and look and feel amazing. Hello and welcome to today's video. This is Dress for My Day and I am Kay. I am so glad that you've shown up because truly, I kid you not, skirts have stumped me for years. Until just recent years, I've begun to get a feel for them. And here's one thing I know about skirts. They trip us up because they're not our norm. Now, I bet I do have some viewers who wear skirts on the regular and you're thinking, what's the problem? I got this. I do this all the time. But for many of us who lean into pants and jeans and even dresses more frequently, throwing in that skirt can seem like a good idea, but for some reason, it just doesn't add up the way our other pieces do. So indeed, there is a reason for that, and I'm going to share it with you. And I'm also going to share with you the secret to styling skirts and looking and feeling amazing. And I've got a lot of skirt outfits to share with you. It's been one of those days where I told my husband I've got 5 outfits, and somehow those outfits had babies. And we've got about 10 to run through. We're gonna run through them really fast, but I want to give us some solutions. Speaking of solutions, just this past week, I've made my appointment to go to the dermatologist for that yearly checkup. It's time. I remember the first time I made an appointment with a dermatologist for just that annual skin cancer checkup. I had never done it before. And you know what? It took me 2 years because first of all, I did it right before that year that we won't speak about. And so the appointment got canceled. And then I had to make the appointment again. And then there was just this ridiculously long wait to get in there. And then I even just experienced a little of that phone anxiety. You know how that is. You just don't even want to get on the phone to make that appointment. You know what, ladies, it was worth it. I ended up having to have a Mohs surgery to remove some basal cells. So that was really important that I did that, and it's equally important that I do it year after year. If you have phone anxiety like I do about making appointments, I've got a solution for you. Today's sponsor of our YouTube video is ZocDoc. I love working with ZocDoc because I believe in what they offer. They really are a solution to that phone anxiety when it comes to scheduling an appointment with a healthcare provider. ZocDoc lets you search for and compare local in-network doctors, so you can find the healthcare provider that you need for that crucial appointment you haven't yet made. And ZocDoc has over 150,000 healthcare providers covering over 200 specialties throughout all 50 states. ZocDoc's website has detailed doctor profiles that you can scour, and even more important to me, they have real patient reviews. So you can scour those and look for the kind of doctor that you want to go to. But it's not just about finding the doctor. You can actually schedule an appointment with a local doctor in your insurance network right there on the ZocDoc website. You can see real-time availability, click and schedule your appointment right there. So you don't even have to get on the phone, which is the thing I don't like doing. And with ZocDoc, appointments can happen fast, usually within 24 to 72 hours, but you can even score same-day appointments. Look, I really do care about you. You are important to me, and I want you to get the health care that you need. So I encourage you, if you've been putting off an appointment like I tend to do, then go through the link below or use the QR code here on the screen and go to ZocDoc.com/KAYHARMS to make that appointment with that healthcare provider that you need in order to take care of yourself. You are absolutely worth it. So what is it? What is the conundrum that causes us to really have a problem styling skirts? I'll tell you what it is. The problem is that skirts give us a whole new set of proportions to deal with. You've heard me talk about achieving those optimal proportions. 1/3 up top, 2/3 down below. When you're wearing pants, that's the way it's going to go. You're going to be able to wear a top, whether you tuck it in or you wear kind of a cropped length top, and you leave it out just a little bit. And then over your pants, even if they're ankle length, because you're going to wear a high-rise pant, or if it's a full length, you've really got that 2/3 down below. It's so easy at this point. You can just dial it in when you are trying to achieve that 1/3 up top, 2/3 down below proportions. But a skirt, that's kind of like trying to style a pair of gauchos, or worse yet, a pair of capris that everybody tells us we shouldn't wear, right? A skirt hits us either just above the knee, right at the knee, just below the knee, and it adds in a whole different set of proportions. If we're not careful, what happens with a skirt is our outfit looks like 1/2 up top, 1/2 down below. Well, today we're going to address those issues, and I've got a pretty easy solution for you, and here's the bottom line. With a skirt, you want to define the waist. We need to know where your waist is, your true waist. But you don't necessarily want to focus on your waist. Now that can be a high ticket, right? Because generally when we think of defining our waist, we think of tucking that shirt in. But if you'll think about it, a lot of skirts aren't even designed to be tucked into. They don't have belt loops. Now here's one skirt that I do have that is a full skirt, full A-line skirt, really nice and full. It does have belt loops, and I absolutely can tuck a shirt into it. So this is one great way to style a skirt. If you have a skirt that has a high waist and it does have those belt loops so you can wear a belt, and you can easily tuck a shirt in because it's hitting you right at the waist, your nice narrow point there, and then it's going to flare out. Then you can do exactly like this. You can tuck in a shirt. You could even tuck in a top like I'm wearing today. You could tuck in a polo top. You could tuck in a t-shirt. You could tuck in most anything. You could belt that and you would look sensational. That is one way to wear a skirt. But a lot of skirts are not necessarily made to be tucked into. So then what do? What tops do you wear? So I've got some great options for you today. But all the way through, remember, the goal is define the waist, but don't necessarily draw attention to it. And let me show you how we're going to do that. Throughout today's video, I am showing you quite a few things that are available. I think all the skirts are available except for the one that I just shared with you. And I do believe all the tops are too. So when I can, I'm going to give you YouTube links to shop. Remember, if you don't want to see those links, you can X out of those. You can get rid of that little box there so that you can see my feet because I know a lot of you want to. But everything is also linked in the description box, and I always have everything linked in my shop too, where you can actually watch the video and see everything linked there as well. All right, let's get going. The first skirt that I'm showing you is actually from Talbot's. One of the keys that I would suggest looking for are skirts with a flat front. Now that can still be an elasticized waistband. Most of these skirts that I'm showing you, except for the one that I've already shown you, do have elasticized waistbands. All of them do. But for the most part, the elasticized part, the biggest elasticized part, is in the back. Whereas in the front, they just have kind of a gentle elasticized part there. And it does lay flat. The fabric is sewn to where it lays flat. Talbot's has a different skirt, and I'll show it to you, a picture here, and it's gathered at the top. It's all, fluffy and gathered and elasticized there. And that's what presents us with a conundrum, because we feel like we need to tuck into that, but it's going to ride up high on our waist, or it's just going to look frumpy on us because we don't have the figure we did when we were 16, right? So unless you have that great figure, I suggest instead of going with that gathered skirt that you go with this flat front skirt. This skirt does have a zipper on the side, so you can zip it up there, but you have that nice flat front. It does not have pockets, I don't think, but it's got a pretty A-line and it is lined. This is a little linen or linen blend skirt, and it does have a polyester lining, but it's a really sweet little skirt. I really like it. Now what you're going to do is you're going to choose a top that like I said, accentuates the waist, and it defines it, but it doesn't necessarily draw attention to it. So the first option I've worn here is just a little fitted shirt. Now, I did notice on the website at Anthropologie where I got this, that they're showing models and their shirt is a little bit looser. But when I go with my true to size medium, which is what I tried on first here, it fits me like this. And honestly, this is what I want with a skirt like this, because I want my top to fit so that you can see my figure. What we're doing here really is we are creating the look of a dress with our skirt. So if you just kind of keep that in mind, that you want to kind of basically create a dress with your top and your skirt. So I've done that here by using a shirt that is, comes in at the waist, has a nice defined waist, but it's going to hang out over my skirt. I'm not going to tuck it in. It's not going to draw a lot of focus to my tummy or anything like that. It's going to lay really nicely over my waist, so you don't see the little, jelly roll, the muffin top that I've got going on there. You don't see any of that. It hangs over all that. It disguises it, camouflages it so nicely. Sweet little top. I would say runs true to size if you want it fitted. If you want it more blousy, then you're going to want to go up a size, or at least use their size guide. Now we're going to do that again, but this time with a different kind of top. So it's the same skirt, but this time from Talbot's also, I'm wearing a little lightweight sweater t-shirt, I would say. It's very, very lightweight, kind of sweatery fabric though, a knit. And in a little red and white stripe, so I thought it would work nicely with the white skirt for a casual look. So this time I'm wearing some sneakers. You're going to see me wear lots of different shoes. Remember, you swap in the shoes in and out, whichever ones you want, to create the atmosphere or the type of look that you want to create. So this time we're going really casual with sneakers, wearing that little knit top. Now this one fits a little bit away from the body, but it still does fit right there at the waist, at the hips. And I'm just going to let it kind of hang just really gently with some folds and everything right there at my tummy. And I can even kind of hike it up a little bit on one side, let it go at an angle or something like that. You're just kind of camouflaging that area, but you are telling the eye, where is her waist? You can see where my waist is, because once again, this shirt, while it's not especially fitted, it's not so loose and blousy either that I get lost in it. So just another option, but achieving that same goal of kind of creating a dress look, defining the waistline, but not drawing attention to my tummy. Let me introduce you to another skirt. This one is a pencil skirt from Alex Mill, a new brand to me, but I really like what I see there. Now this time I'm wearing a size large per their size guide, so just letting you know that. But this little pencil skirt is so sweet. This is in a 100% linen, and it has a cotton lining inside it. It comes in navy, red, and a really pretty green too. So I'm wearing it in the navy here. It does have a little slit in the back, and it has a zipper closure, and it does have an elasticized back and a flat front. So that's what we're looking for, that flat front. So we're not creating any volume there at the front, but we're also not creating volume at the sides of the skirt either. So just a nice pencil skirt, has a really beautiful drape, really steams up so nicely. With this first look, I'm wearing it with what they call a little sweater vest, I think. So it buttons all the way up the front, and really pretty buttery yellow. I can't remember what the color they call it, but it's a yellow, comes in other colors, and comes in some stripes as well. So versatile. Now here I'm wearing it in a large per their size guide, but I really think I should have gone with a medium. I'm actually going to order another one of these because I like it so much, so versatile, and I am going to get a medium. So I would suggest you go with your true size rather than their size guide on this. That's just my 2 cents. But I think this really works because the sweater vest does hit at the right place. It hits right there at my waist. So my waist is defined, but it's not accentuated. We don't draw a lot of attention to it. Now let me show you another option with that same pencil skirt. This time I'm wearing what Anthropologie has called a little blazer. So it's a little puff sleeve blazer, but it's really a top, I think, that is so pretty. Now it's not especially inexpensive for sure, but I think it's worth it to have some pieces like this in your closet if you do plan to wear skirts a lot. if you're planning to wear skirts, that's kind of the thing is also I think as we decide, I think I want to wear a skirt, but we don't have the tops in our wardrobe for it. And as you're noticing, they kind of call for some specific types of tops. In my opinion, I want tops that can stay outside of that skirt waistband, but still define my waist. Well, this one does it beautifully. It is in a polished linen and cotton blend, so lovely. Just beautiful color, beautiful neutral color, looks so great over that navy skirt, accomplishing just that, defining the waistline, even, really defining my hourglass shape really nicely, giving you a shape. If you don't have one, by the way, if you're more of an H shape or something, or an I shape, it's going to give you a little bit of a waistline there because of the way this particular little jacket is. So great. Now let me show you, here is that same little vest or little jacket over a different skirt. This is a similar white linen skirt, but this one is by Eileen Fisher. It is a fuller A-line skirt. It is not lined, so I am wearing a slip under it. It does have pockets, however, and it also has a zip and button closure on the side. So it is flat all the way around, but it does have a little bit of elastic in that waistband, so it just adds some comfort without adding a lot of poof around the waist, which is really important. It's a little bit longer skirt also, but it works so beautifully with that little jacket. However, here is another way to wear that same skirt. I told you these outfits had babies. So I just kept finding things to wear with skirts, and I just wanted you to know the options, and I wanted you to see kind of on repeat the goal here. So now I'm wearing, with that linen skirt from Eileen Fisher, the top that I'm wearing now. This is from J. Crew. I just got it in recently. Love this little top. It's going to be so versatile. Right now I'm wearing it with some little ankle length pants, but it looks beautiful with that little skirt because, once again, it defines my waist. It kind of comes in at the waistline, really pretty. It's kind of creating that dress kind of look, but with a little sweater that's outside of the waistband. Didn't have to tuck anything. In fact, because that skirt sits nice and high on my waist, I was able to unbutton the bottom two buttons, just making it look a little bit more modern, a little bit fresher and more casual also. Of course, I've unbuttoned a couple of the buttons at the top, just exposing a little bit of skin, which is always going to be a little bit more flattering than being all buttoned up. Here I've added some casual little sandals. So this is just a beautiful little outfit to wear out to lunch, or maybe to a knitting club or book club or something like that. It's going to be cool and comfortable and casual, but you are going to feel so pretty in your skirt. And you know what? Other women are going to think to themselves, oh, she looks so smart in her skirt. I want to look like that. Now, those skirts were all kind of similar, A-line or pencil skirts. What do you do with those silky skirts you see, that are just so pretty and feminine looking? So look, I got one here from Ann Taylor, for instance. Pretty little tropical looking print on this blue skirt. It's a little polyester, has a beautiful drape, just has a little bit of a tulip kind of looking hemline down there, flares out a little bit. And this is the kind of skirt that used to really stump me until I realized, especially recently, the goal is to look a little casual. And unless you're going to work or you're going somewhere really fancy and you're trying to do something a little extra with this skirt, I really encourage you to keep it casual. And I've done that by wearing just a ribbed, close-fitting but not tight t-shirt. It's just a basic t-shirt. This one's from Air. It is a little bit more polished looking. I love their t-shirts because they do have that more polished aesthetic to them. But I guess you'd kind of say that they are that elevated basics. And so that's what we're doing here, that really elevated basic white t-shirt, close to the body, not tight, with that simple little skirt. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bunch up the bottom of the top there a little bit, just adding some little folds, adding a little bit of fullness there, just kind of disguising my tummy and all of that, but defining the waist, but not drawing attention to it. We're not tucking it in or anything like that. Don't have to tuck it in and add a belt. You certainly could do that, but I don't want to do that because that's just going to show too much of me. So we don't want to do that. Now, if you wanted to, you could add a jacket. I've added my linen blazer here, and I love that look, especially for church or other casual things that you're going out to lunch or out to brunch or something a little special, maybe a baby shower or a wedding shower or something along those lines. But you could accomplish the same thing with a white denim jacket or a white linen bomber jacket, you know, something a little bit more relaxed and casual too. Love the way that pulls together, but just keep it simple. Now I do have one more option, and that's because sometimes I still just really get stuck, because in each of these situations, I will say this too, I generally try to keep the bottom half of what I'm wearing. If there's gonna be something dark, like if I'm gonna wear black or navy or something, I'm gonna wear it on my bottom. Like literally on my bottom. I'm gonna wear it down below, on my pants, on my skirt, whatever. And then I want to wear something a little lighter up top. Now, you know, if I'm gonna wear white pants or a white skirt, then I'm going to wear something maybe that's it's darker because it's a color, but I'm not going to go real dark. I'm not going to wear black up top and white down below. I just prefer it the other way around. So, you know, playing with those colors though, and like mixing and matching and trying to figure out the color, sometimes that is the conundrum. And that also does draw focus to that line of demarcation, which is right there at your waist, right? So a big solution, and this can work in so many ways, I'm showing one instance of it, but it can work in so many ways, is just to go monochromatic with your skirt. Once again, keeping this really simple here, I'm wearing another Eileen Fisher little skirt. This is a darling little cotton voile kind of skirt, just so fun, so easy. I wore it twice last week. I like this skirt so much. Wore this outfit twice last week because I like it so much. That little skirt is so simple, so easy. It does have that flat front, has that zipper side, has the elastic in the back, a little bit elastic all the way around in fact, but just very gentle elastic, so it really feels flat there at the waist. And then I've just put an Eileen Fisher ribbed t-shirt over it in the same color, that same dark blue, so it looks very monochromatic. It really looks like a dress, right? From a distance you think she's wearing a dress, then you find out I'm wearing a skirt. Now you can even pull that shirt down a little bit if you want to, if that makes you feel more comfortable, because you're not really going to see where the waist line is, but it is definitely defining my waist. It gives me some shape because that t-shirt is fitted there. Not tight, but fitted. I hope those tips helped you out. They certainly helped me, and we want to enjoy wearing skirts this summer. All right, remember, shopping information is down below in the description box, and I'd love to hear from you if you have other tips for wearing skirts, and let me know, do you wear skirts, pants, dresses? What do you enjoy wearing in the summer? I'd love to hear from you down below. It really means a lot to me when I hear comments from you. I read every single one of them. And hey, you are important to me, so I want you to prioritize your health. If you've got an appointment that you need to schedule and you have not done that, then right now I want you to click through that link below and go to ZocDoc.com/KAYHARMS and schedule that appointment with a qualified healthcare provider in network and locally, of course, so that you can take care of your health. Thanks so much to ZocDoc for sponsoring today's video, and thank you for hanging with me. I really enjoyed it. I hope you have too, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye now.